PlayerUnknown's Battleground has taken the casual multiplayer shooter market by storm, already selling 10 million copies despite only being released as an early access title back in March. But like all early access games, PUBG has its fair share of glitches. Hi, I'm Alpha Lance with the Leaderboard, and we're here to give you the lowdown on some of the funniest and nastiest glitches that players have experienced so far in the game. Equip your vests and helmets, and let's see how many of you survive this issue of Glitched PUBG. First, we should give you fair warning about using these glitches in-game. The developers at Bluehole are constantly working to fix these glitches, so you might be handicapping yourself by trying to use a glitch that's already been patched up. Secondly, if you're caught noticeably exploiting these glitches, chances are you'll get banned. Whether it's a soft ban or a perma ban, being unable to play a game you already paid for sucks either way. So in short, don't exploit glitches. Now, onto the good stuff. One of the most infamous glitches in PUBG is the invisible buildings glitch. At the beginning of a match, the game's buildings may have fully loaded for some players, but may not have fully loaded for others. This is a huge issue in a PvP-focused game because the player who doesn't have buildings in their games can still see and shoot players who are hiding in the buildings in their respective games. One popular streamer, Destiny, took this exploit to a whole other level when he decided to use a vehicle to run over other players through buildings. Of course, from his point of view, there weren't any buildings, but he knew what was going on. When the ban hammer struck down on Destiny's stream, he wasn't surprised. PUBG's rules clearly state that exploiting glitches in order to gain an unfair advantage is a bannable offense. You're supposed to report the glitches and then ignore them, but it's pretty hard to ignore them when whole chunks of the map are just missing from your screen. And I guess it's pretty difficult to ignore some unsuspecting players hiding in the open just wanting to be picked off. Bluehole still discourages players from exploiting the glitch, especially since it's the cheapest one out there. Hopefully this will be fixed before the release of the PUBG Complete Edition. If not, it will be pretty hard to host online tournaments without the risk of this glitch accidentally happening to one of the players. An off chance, sure, but still a chance. Ever wonder how your enemies spotted you creeping by the stairs even though you were being extra sneaky? It's almost like they can see you through the walls. Well, maybe they can. By exploiting a glitch known as camera clipping. This is one of the most common glitches in PUBG and is notorious for giving players in the know a massive advantage in survival and combat. People playing in third person have found that positioning their camera so that they conflict with nearby terrain would oftentimes result in the camera clipping through the terrain and allowing them to see through the other side. This glitch has been found most prominently in cramped buildings and even on water, as popular streamer Grims demonstrated during one of his matches. Grims positioned his camera right in the sweet spot between the water surface and its murky texture, allowing him to see underwater clearly. So why does this happen only in third person? It's because when you're in third person, the camera is somewhere above and behind your character. This causes all sorts of problems when you get into tight spaces. In order for the camera to fit into those areas, it presses against nearby terrain in order to give you some reasonable amount of vision despite its positioning. Sometimes this causes the camera to phase partially through objects that aren't thick enough to accommodate it, like ceilings, stairs, and walls. When that happens, you see through the object with whatever part of the camera is protruding through it. Unfortunately, players have been using this glitch since PUBG's early release, and there really isn't anything stopping them. The August 3rd patch fixed most of these glitches, but some players are still coming across a clip or two. However, just because they become more rare doesn't mean you should go looking for them. If you're going to play fair, or else beware, for Bluehole's ban hammer is swift. The camera isn't the only thing you can clip in PUBG. If you're persistent enough or unlucky enough, your character can actually phase through objects, and more often than not, get stuck in them. Unlike camera clipping, this is usually a random occurrence. While in a match, players sometimes get stuck in walls, sink through cracks in the road, or just randomly tumble into some camera-obscuring abyss. And once you're in, it's hard to get out. Some players have resorted to throwing grenades under themselves, using the throw animation to push themselves out of the traps, and others who are able to move have pressed forth into the glitchy unknown, hoping to come out on the other side unscathed and still sane. Usually though, the players are just trapped there until either they die or lose the match. While there isn't much you can do about this glitch in game, it's still important to raise awareness about it. It sucks that such a game-breaking glitch is one of the most common ones around. Bluehole has already fixed a glitch where players got stuck in partially destroyed doors, but if they intend to release a full glitch-free version of this game by the end of the year, they'll definitely need to put more work into this one, especially in regards to the vehicles in the game. More on that later. If you played any of the 3D Sonic games in the past decade, then you're probably used to falling through random parts of the map to your death. Unfortunately, PUBG suffers a similar problem, except instead of falling to your death, you dive into some invisible water underneath the map. This glitch is very similar to character clipping in that it can happen just about anywhere. Several players have reported falling through grassy areas or hills, but they most commonly report having glitched through the stairs leading down to the shelter. It also happens if you're on a vehicle and you disconnect while driving and restore your connection while still on the move. Being stuck under the map might sound like a bummer, but it's actually a good thing if you care more about winning than getting kills. You get 3 huge advantages if you're under the map. 1, other players can't see you, but because the ground has turned invisible for you, you can see them. 2, if you find a tangible part of the map clipping through to your Netherrealm territory, then you can stand on it and shoot players above you through the ground. And 3, because most of the areas under Erangel, and assumedly the desert map, are filled with water, and you can swim all the way to the end zone and win the game. Just be careful not to stray too far from the play zone. That's pretty much the only way you'll die at that point. Luckily for us, Bluehole has already fixed this glitch in the September 11th patch. Instead of sinking into the ground permanently, you'll be reset to surface level automatically. Nice job, Bluehole. Hey, you ever wanted to be a BMX pro? No? Well, too bad. If you happen to come across a motorcycle in Battlegrounds, you better be ready for a wild ride. The motorcycle is by far the glitchiest vehicle in PUBG and has gained infamy for its unpredictable launches, bouncy rubber wheels, and insane air tricks. You might be cruising along the road just fine, and next thing you know, you're scraping along the skybox. When you get on the motorcycle, you don't always get to choose where it takes you. The thing has a mind of its own. Just look at the way it moves. It's just not right. A lot of players have theorized that the aerial antics of the motorcycle are caused by a network disconnect, but this has yet to be confirmed. Because there isn't a known fix to the glitch, the only safe option is to play around it. If you're feeling like a daredevil though, then take a seat and be ready for anything. Hopefully the bike will glitch in your favor, like it did for this guy. That's Nilla, a seasoned PUBG player. When he got on the bike, all he wanted to do was ride to the main zone as fast as possible. Instead, the bike decided to take him for the ride of his life. At the end of it all, Nilla was dumped unceremoniously on the shore by the bridge just a few strides from his destination. Think you can top that? Shoot for the stars. Sometimes the motorcycle seems to be working as intended, but don't be fooled. Just when you think you're cruising safely, boom, it explodes. Another soul lost to the speed demon. Just for a minute, let's pretend that the motorcycle isn't possessed and out to eliminate unsuspecting newbies. Let's call these accidents glitches. Well, the direct cause of these glitches has yet to be identified, but the motorcycle's explosiveness seems to have something to do with how its impact registers with certain terrain, and perhaps lag plays a role into this as well. The motorcycle can take a decent bump against rubble or a tree, for instance, but if you drive slowly into a wall, its hit points will deplete rapidly and it will explode. If you slam a door on a motorcycle, it will explode then too. It probably has something to do with the closing animation being a nearly unstoppable force. Having that unstoppable force collide with the fragile motorcycle means bad news. It may also have something to do with how rude that door slam was. Maybe the demon possessing the motorcycle is just sensitive. While the motorcycle is definitely the glitchiest vehicle, the other vehicles are not without their fair share of weirdness. It seems that all vehicles in the game have a huge problem with collision. That seems true to life, especially in PUBG, that a collision doesn't always mean a car crash. Cars can fly too, although not as frequently as motorcycles. Players often experience vehicular flight while they get into a car crash or roll over while drifting. For some reason, the collision caused by those events skyrockets the vehicle's momentum, shooting it across the map. Sometimes players land safely and can drive their vehicle. Other times, players land on another object, resulting in a proper collision and explosion. If by some luck players land in water, they can ditch their vehicle and swim to the surface occasionally. Good luck getting to where you were though, as the glitch probably sent you about a kilometer in the direction you don't want to go. Another collision glitch involving the vehicles is the mid-drift exit suicide. Sounds like a lot of fancy words, but it's actually a pretty simple glitch. If you step out of the vehicle towards the end of the drift, the still moving vehicle can collide with you and kill you with its remaining momentum. That's why when you're drifting to a stop, you have to make sure that you stop completely. Take that extra second to reflect on how lucky you are that your car didn't spirit you away to some random area outside of the play zone. And also always be thankful that your car didn't do this. Nobody wants this. Well, that does it for this video. Once again, I'm Alvalance with the Leaderboard. Thanks for turning into Glitched PUBG. And if there are any other glitches you would have liked to see in this video, tell us about them in the comments. Don't forget to click that bell icon to become part of the notification squad. And if you like getting more out of your games, subscribe to the Leaderboard, your home for video game facts.